Okay, it's rap pack to my pulse flat. We keep it real, no false rap. I got 4 cars and they all black. Got 4 bras and they all that. We call that ballin'. Doing this is my calling. Flow is so appalling. My phone off and she calling. I'm like, yeah.
What's going on, internet, and welcome back to Nth-Level Entertainment, the most awesome series, comic book, and movie-related YouTube channel in South Africa. I am your host, Z the Entertainer, and welcome to episode 1 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe Challenge. Basically, I'm going to be reviewing every single movie that came out from the MCU since Phase 1, all the way up to Avengers Infinity War. And today I'm going to be reviewing Iron Man 1. So basically, this is the movie that kicked off the MCU as we know it today. Apparently, the movie itself was actually in development since 1990 between Universal Studios and New Line Cinema until when they were unable to actually complete the project. Marvel reacquired the rights and self-funded the completion of the project themselves. After hiring Jon Favreau to sign on as director, he immediately went on to ensure that this would be the cinematic gem that it turned out to be by firstly hiring Brian Michael Bendis along with other comic book writers as advisors to ensure that the source material would influence the movie itself, so that it stayed as genuine and faithful as possible to what the comic books were. So this movie basically, it was such a nostalgic experience actually watching it all over again. We get to see Pepper Potts again, playing the role of Tony Stark's PA, and we saw her actually drop that classic line to that journalist that Tony slept with by saying, "I do any and everything Mr. Stark requires of me, including occasionally taking out the trash." Oh my God, that was like just savage. So in the movie itself, we actually get to see a lot of character development from the character of Tony Stark. We get to see him in the beginning of the movie enjoying his wealth as a billionaire playboy who's enjoying the profits of war profiteering, as his company was a creator of weapons. We see him have his eyes opened at an exhibition where he is actually abducted by terrorists who force him to build Stark weapons for them. In this situation, he gets to see how his company is actually affecting the rest of the world and America at large in terms of basically, instigating more war through the manufacturing of these weapons. We see him actually meet up with Dr. Jensen, who helps him create the suit of armor that he eventually used to actually escape his imprisonment. The sequence therein was actually a fantastic one, where we see him not only create the arc reactor that basically saves his life, but him actually creating the Iron Man Mark I suit, which he uses to not only destroy the weapons that the terrorists had that belonged to his company, but also make his escape and eventually getting found by Colonel Rhodes. When Tony Stark finally returns home, we see the introduction of Obadiah Stane, played by the incomparable Jeff Bridges. Now, I know it's an ongoing thing that there's a complaint about Marvel Cinematic Universe villains being uncompelling and not properly fleshed out. But Jeff Bridges plays this role to charismatic evil perfection. As much as, yes, it's revealed much later in the second act that he's actually the villain, but the story of how he becomes so is actually a believable one, in that he was the dude who was actually groomed to take over Stark Industries after Howard Stark's passing. But instead, Tony, who he had to mentor into the role, is the one who was heralded CEO of Stark Industries. Now, granted, if my boss had to slight me, I wouldn't build a huge mechanized suit of armor and try to kill him, but I understand. So Obadiah Stane eventually continues to thwart things for Stark Industries behind the scenes to try and actually gain a foothold in the company and eventually oust Tony Stark. Tony Stark not only realizing that this is happening, but that he is actually furthering the control of Stark Industry weapons by terrorists, decides to actually don the Iron Man armor and work on his Mark IV version and eventually take on Obadiah Stane. Now, actually seeing him go through this journey of going from someone who actually enjoyed the benefits of being of being a weapons manufacturer to actually caring about the world and having a purpose as a hero in protecting the people of the world from his own weapons was a very inspiring one. We even see the beginnings of Tony Stark and Pepper Potts' romantic relationship through little instances here and there at fundraisers, and her actually having to help save his life at times, was the beautiful way to actually subtly make these characters care for each other and have a bond that brings them closer together. Now, the final fight scene was a bit lackluster in my opinion. I mean, we basically got to see two iron dudes trade a couple of punches, throw a couple of cars, and eventually the arc reactor from the main Stark Industries office was blown on the roof just to beat Obadiah Stane. But fair enough, it was still an awesome movie. It was still an awesome action adventure thrill ride, and there was such spectacular visual spectacle to actually enjoy throughout this film. And it still holds up with the rest of the MCU to today as an awesome movie to rewatch over and over and over again. So I give Iron Man about 3 repulsor blasts out of 5. It was the perfect film to actually kick off this universe. So anyway, let me know in the comment section below what you thought of Iron Man. And if you enjoyed this video, please click on the like. And if you would like to see more from Nth-Level Entertainment, please click subscribe and make sure you click the bell icon so you are notified every time we drop content on the channel in future. Until then, I have been Z the Entertainer. Thank you very much for watching. Stay awesome, people, to infinity and beyond.
Turn these zeros into tens and commas. Bitch, I'm ballin', closing $1 million deals. Catch me swerving, burning $100 bills. How I feel when you ballin', going places they never go. It ain't all about the
Hey guys, thanks a lot. If you want to see some more from us, click here or click here.
That's comatose, so in mainstream with my maintain.